So the first thing we're going to need is the U model. I'll put a link to the description on where to download it. You can start right up. We're going to find your game folder. Mine's Nitro, Steam Apps, Common, Granblue Fantasy Versus. Just pick the root folder. That's good. We're going to do override game detection. Change it to Unreal Engine 4, 4.21, and then hit OK. It's going to ask you for your encryption key. I'll put the key in the description. I've got it right here. Just copy that, move it out of the way. Paste it in, and hit OK. Give it a second to actually load all things, and we've got the actual game files. All this stuff here you can basically ignore. We only want read content. This is all the game files you basically can use. For character, we're going to be doing Fairy today. So it's going to be under Kara. This is all the main characters you can pick, and they are 3-letter shortcuts of the name. So you got Charlotta, Fairy, Matera, what's his face, all the characters. We're going to do Fairy today. We're going to click on that, and we're going to go to Costume 1 and Mesh. Some characters, such as Matera, have 2 costumes because she has her special one you can unlock from the game. You can just pick whichever one you want. But then we're going to go to Mesh, and we want Fair Body, because Fairy Body. Double click it, you can make sure that it's the mesh you want, and it looks a little bit wonky now because it has this outer shell on it, but you can tell that it's the right character. Then we're going to go to Tools, Options, and we're going to make sure Skeleton Mesh is set to GLTF2, and Skeleton Static Mesh is GLTF2. And then we're going to Texture Formats TGA, and hit OK. And then you can go to Export Current Objects. And there will be a pop-up here that says, the exact same thing we just did. There's an option down at the bottom that says, don't show this again. I recommend clicking that. After you've done that, after you've exported it, we're going to go press O, and it pops it up again, and we're going to find the head high. Double click on it, make sure, and then, yep, that's the right one. Tools, Export Current Objects. Okay. Now we've got the meshes, as you can see here in the UModel export, Kara for Costume 1 Mesh. We need all 4 of these files, and we're just going to move it to a really easily workable folder. So we'll just copy and paste. Go back out. And now we need the actual textures, though. So the textures, press O again, are under Material, and we have all the different colors that you can pick. But the first thing we need is we need some common textures that everyone uses. So we're going to go to Base, and we need Decal and ILM. So Fair, Decal, Fair, ILM. So these 2. You can notice that there's this Fair W ILM. You can export this if you want, but this is for the weapon. We're not going to actually be working on the weapon today, but if you are going to be wanting the weapon, you want to find the files that we're going to be going in the color 1 and everything with Fair W, because it's Fairy Weapon. We're not going to work on that today. Then we're going to color 1, because we're going the base color, and we need Base, Detail, and SSS. So select both of those, export, SSS, export. And again, if you want to do the weapons, it is underneath Common, Equip, because you're equipping a weapon, and then you have the same thing here where this is the base texture, and Mesh is the weapon itself, and then Material, color 1, and then you'd want to get the SSS and base out of here, and then the ILM that we saw from inside of here. But we're not going to get those today. But after we've gotten all those textures, we are basically done with UModels. We'll minimize that, and now we got to copy the textures over. So Kara for Costume 1, Material, go into Base, and we're going to go to Textures, copy these out of there, and then you're going to go back into Color 1 and copy all these out of there. For just the base model, we basically only need these 5 textures, and that's it. And after we've done that, we're going to go into Blender. I use Blender 2.8. Actually, I should recommend this. Actually, you do need Blender 2.8. I am terribly sorry. I should have said this sooner. You do need 2.8 because Blender 2.8 is the only one that has GLTF import. Then you're going to import, find your mesh, and then it's GLTF. Oop, I didn't copy the. Oh, I did. It's right here. So we're going to go Body, Import. Give it a second because it's really slow. While that's going, actually, I'm going to move all of these into the GLTF folder because I forgot to do that. After doing that, you can see they have the model, but the bones are really big. The scale on this is the proper scale it's supposed to be, but not the bones. So then we're going to actually rescale all of them. I use this add-on. I don't know what it's called, like Blender Pi Tools. I can't remember, but I'm going to quickly be using this. But I'll call out what I'm going into every time. I'll go into Edit mode, select all, change this thing from median point to individual origins. And then we're going to scale it down. So we're going to go to S and type in 0.1, hit enter. And now that we've got the mesh, we need to actually go through and delete some things that we don't need on the mesh. So first thing we're going to do is we actually need to fix this. The armature right now is currently parented to the body. We need to fix that. First we're going to do is we're going to click on the body. We're going to do Control A, apply all transformations. Select the armature and do the same thing. Control A, all transformations. Now with the armature selected, go to the green objects tab, relations, and then put an X on the parent. Switch to the mesh, click on parent, switch it back to armature. And now we've fixed the proper hierarchy that we need. Now we need to go through and we need to delete the extra mesh bits that we don't actually need. So we're going to go to this channel, and we're going to go into edit mode. I'm going to use this pie wheel thing that I've got from an add-on called Blender Pi UI thing or something like that. I don't actually know what it is. But I'll say which channel I'm going into. So we're just going to go to edit mode, change to face, and we're going to be deleting outline, shadow, prism decal, and grass color. We're going to delete all of them, so all that's left is the base. Because all of these are useless to us. Delete all of them, go back in object mode, and take a look. Yep, we have no missing parts, everything's good. Yeah, you saw me look up there, you dirty deviants. Alright. Just for ease of working, let's set the object to be a wireframe in front, so we can actually see what we're working with a little bit easier. So now we need to actually remove this ball bit. I'm going to use a technique that I learned back with working on some MMD models to just move it completely out of the way, and then so I can just box select it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to armature. Ooh, we did actually be in pose mode. Armature, root, pelvis, and we actually find where bone this is connected to. I already know through previous work that it is this Harsuko bone. If I move it around, you can see it's all the way over there. I'm going to move it way out of the way over there. Go into object mode, click the mesh, go to the wrench, and the current armature modify, I'm going to copy, make sure you copy it, and then apply as shape key. And you'll see it went away to the far side again, and then it came back. To make sure that it's properly set up, we can actually go to the make sure the armature, go to this one, and then scale this all the way up. See, it moves around. Now we need to click basis, go into edit mode again. As you see, it's select all. I believe the default key for the search menu is F3, but mine is space. And you're going to search for blend from shape. This little thing will pop up here on the bottom, and make sure blend is set to 1, it's set to add, and then change this from basis to armature 1. And now it's actually offset by default. And now we can do it like that. Go like this. Go into pose mode. And then select all. Apply as rest pose. And now everything's all perfectly offset. This also works if for example, you wanted to change the default position of some bones. Like, say, if for some reason you wanted the arm to always be like twisted up, like if I wanted this to be the basis, you can use that to do it. So now after we've done that, we're gonna go into edit mode on this, turn the X-ray view on, and I'm just gonna box select all this crap because I don't want any of it. Okay, and then we're gonna turn that back off. Okay, and now we've got the actual body that we want. Now we need to go through and delete all the extra bones, and not delete them, we need to merge the weight down into the parent bones. If you notice, there are a lot of bones, and when you saw me fiddling with this, you might have noticed that it was twisting the elbow itself, but not actually moving the arm. It's because Arc System models have a lot of bones that they use to mesh and deform like anime does. So we actually need to merge the weights down so that you have few of them to work with, so that because it can break things. So we're gonna move this over. This body root, we can just delete it. It absolutely serves no purpose. Rename this to hips. We'll rename waist to spine 1. We'll get to pelvis deform in a bit. Stomach, we are actually going to be deleting stomach, because that would be your spine 2, but we want the chest, not that. This one we will name chest, and then neck, and we'll get to all these things. Pelvis deform has the entire skirt, if I recall. So you can actually keep this and set it as your jiggle bones. Some models will have different things. Also, as you notice, it has ass physics. So we can actually go... Oop. Make sure... Oop, that's not the right one. What one could it be? Interesting. Oh, it's part of the deformity itself. Interesting. Okay. So then we're going to go like this. Duplicate it. Rename it skirt roots. Set it to be... It's already a parent of hips, which is exactly what we want. And we're going to move skirt base into skirt roots. Control P, keep offset. And that's all we needed. We're going to go to select both of these. And then select the hips, and we're going to do Control P, keep offset, because we don't want anything attached to this deform here. That's just going to be your ass physics if you want to be weird, but who am I to judge? Oop. Make sure we select all of them, and I'm going to use cats because it has a really easy one button. Just merge weights, whatever the merge bones, you can just use that, but because this is an easy button, we're just going to merge the weights of all those into the actual hips, because we're going to get rid of all the deformed bones. Now we have that step off, which is that, which we can delete. Make sure you have it selected, Shift G children, and then we can just delete them since we've already deleted the mesh of it. Hard to go con is a little bit of the skirt here, the belts. You can go do that with children. You can see it's moving the belt around. We can keep that. Skirt is skirt, spine, thighs. Alright, so now we've got everything in the hips. And we're just going to continue this process through all of these. And I'll just make a quick speed up bit and I'll cut in. All we need is thigh, calf, foot, and toe. Everything else can be merged to their parents based on what they're connected to. So for the thigh, we're going to do thigh up, knee, and then children. All the children. Just going to select all of them and then merge to parents. And just follow that down for all of them. And we'll go back when I'll come back when we get to the spine. So now we're on to the spine, and we're going to move upwards. The thighs are quite possibly the easiest ones to do, the legs. Now we got to move up the waist, up the body. Spine, we're just going to go right from spine to waist deform, and we're going to merge that into spine. So it's parent. And now we've got stomach deform. What I'm going to do is I'm going to merge both of these into spine, but if you do just this into that and then stomach deform into it, I've had some issues. So we're going to go top down. So stomach deform, merge into stomach, and then stomach merge into spine 1. So now we have general VRChat, hips, spine, chest, and all that shebang. Alright, now we're going to go up even more, and we're going to work on not the chest yet. We're actually going to go down the arms. So we'll go shoulder, clavicle. Now these are two different ones. Shoulder is the insidemost bone. It's not like a normal like MMD avatar where it has just clavicle. This has shoulder and clavicle, because in your actual body you have those different points of reference. You can merge shoulder into it and just use clavicle. But personally, I actually use shoulder as a reference point because your clavicle has a very limited motion in VRChat. It actually makes it more realistic rather than using the actual clavicle. So I'm going to merge clavicle in. And then we're going to do the same stuff we did before, where clavicle is going to go into that. Upper arm, we only want lower arm, so we're going to select all those. Merge to parents. Lower arm, we only want hand, so we'll go and select all those. And hand has this fist one. We actually want to merge fist into parent. So we have all 5 fingers and a grip point. After that, we're just going to, I'll speed it up and we'll go through the other side really quick. Alright, so now we're back to the chest. And we need to merge the chest down a bit. We have the breastplate and chest deform. These are different things we've got going on here. Chest deform and everything underneath it, we can actually just merge into the body. Because I believe breastplate actually has your titty physics if you want them. So everything in chest deform, we can actually go to children and merge. And breastplates, you guys can use for titty physics. This is the right one not moving is a byproduct of Blender 2.8 since it's still in progress. It will move. It's just something weird that happens when you merge bones down. Alright, after that, we have our neck half, which we're not gonna merge this. Keep neck half and neck. And we need all of these. We're gonna need all those when we attach the head. So now we need to go through and attach the head. The head is a bit of a trickier one because we need to actually merge reference bones on the neck to the head, and the head has bones that need to merge with ones on the neck. It's kind of a weird thing that the game does, but we'll get through it. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is go to object mode, and we're going to actually import the head now. We're going to do the same thing, GLTF, and import the head high. Give it a second to load because it takes forever because it's GLTF. Come on. Come on, you can do it. Alright, so now remember the bones are really big. Select those, go into edit mode, select all, and make sure this is set to individual origins. Scale 0.1. And actually, for the head itself, to make it easier to work with through all these invisible bones, I'm actually going to scale it to 0.01, so another 0.1 scale from that, so it's a lot easier to see and work with. Object mode, and I'm going to set them to be visible once again. In front, set it to wire. So they're really small. Okay, and then I'm going to, we need to apply the transformation again. So select the mesh, Control A, all transformations, armature, Control A, all transformations. Go to the object, relations, X on head high, parent, armature 001, because that's our head armature. Now we've got that set up properly. Now, just like before, there are things on the head mesh that we need to delete that are part of the mesh. So we need to go into edit mode again, deselect, go to materials tab. This one, the only ones that we need to keep are Cara detail and Cara base. Everything else we can select and get rid of. Well, this one, unique AGF is a small little emoticon kind of thing. You can keep it, but nobody will ever notice it because it's too small. I recommend just deleting it because we're not going to be using it at all. It's a lot of effort. It's not worth the effort. So we're going to delete faces and go into object mode. And then we can go and delete all these extra materials. Actually, while we're at it, let's delete the extra materials on this one as well. This one, this one, this one, this one. So all we have is those. Okay. Actually, while we're at it, we will merge this base into the other base. So now we only have the one base material. So after we've gotten the head imported, we actually need to merge the two armatures together. Unhide, unhide. Click on, make sure you're in object mode, select one, and then the other armature. And we're going to do Control J. So it's all in one armature. Then we're going to click on both of them, go to the modifiers tab, and you can see here, we're going to make sure the object is set to the armature that they're under. Go to both of them, make sure it's like that. Alright, now we have the hips and the head root. This is the start of the head bones itself. So we're actually got to merge these to go with the body. And as you can see, there is a neck and head and neck low half. So at this, we need to go through and delete root. I'm not edit mode. I am not. So we're going to delete root, bones, straight up delete it, and then go down the hierarchy to neck, and there is head attach. This head deform directly goes onto head attach. So we're going to Control P, keep offset. And then inside of head attach, oops, sorry, not inside of, back down over here, we still have head neck, which is that you select this and then connect it to G neck, Control P, keep offset. And then neck half is neck half right here. Selecting both, Control P, keep offset. And now, if we rotate the neck around, you can see the head is properly attached there. And if you rotate the head is properly attached there. If you see any seams along the neckline, you will know that you didn't actually put the parents of the bones properly. So you gotta make sure you get the names correctly. After we've done that, we have to merge some bones down again. Neck deform, we're going to merge that down. These on this character, the ERF, ERB, LR, all this stuff is the little bits of, it's little bits of the skirty flirty thing, but we're not going to jiggle bone those. So we'll just go through all of them and merge them all down. We have head attach, neck, excellent. We'll just rename it now to neck, and this is head. It's not head attach, it's head. They have the exact same position, so it doesn't technically matter, but we're going to deform a lot of this stuff down. Two parents. Okay. Ooh. First thing we're going to do is we're going to get the eyes out of there. So we're going to go to eyes crits, eyeball, eyeball, select the head, and then Control P, keep offset. We want them out of there so it's way easier to work with them later on. Using all of these bones now, you can go through and make your custom Visiums. Lower head is the bottom half of the head below the eyes. Inside of lower head, there is lips and ago. Ago is the actual jaw, and then lips is the upper lip. I recommend making some bone groups and moving them around to make all your Visiums and whatnot. When I move the eye base out, those are these two. So we actually are going to take the eyeballs out as well. Oop, sorry, I'm not in edit mode. Keep offset. Okay, so now we have our eyeballs. So you can move these around, make your closed eyes and whatnot, and everything. And then IL and IR. Alright, sorry about the cut, but I got called. Anyways, as I was saying, is that so now you've got the pupil or the eyes separated. We can actually move around, and the only good thing I enjoy for cats is the ability for it to generate eyes. That's actually incredibly useful. So actually, we'll do that later, or you can do it manually yourself. But I'm lazy. After we've done that, we need make sure that the hair base is the proper hair base. Looks like it is. But it looks like there are actually two bits of different hair. So you might... Yeah, there's a lot of hair here. I'm not going to do it, but you can do it. Of figuring out which bits are the in front, which bits are behind. Or you can just keep it as your one hair root. Why not? It's up to you. Alright, this is absolutely... Oh, this seems to be some rim stuff that's controlled by the actual material itself for something that I don't know. But we're not going to use them, so we're just going to get rid of them. So we're going to go these children, merge to parents, nose base is nose base, obviously. Okay. So we basically got everything, and now you just have to make your Visiums as you would want them. I'll do a quick run on how to make them, but this is going to be really dirty. If you want to make good ones, you're going to have to put a lot more effort into them. I'm just going to make a quick and dirty one for AO. So, obviously. And then you would go to your object mode, click on your mesh, go to this. Actually, not that. We're going to go to the wrench, and we're going to go copy. We'll rename it to then apply a shape key. And now we've got it in here that we can actually work with. And that's how you're just gonna do that for each of your vowels. And if you're gonna use cats, you need to make, you know, A-H, O, and what is it? C-H, so ch, p, I, and, or, no, it's ch, ah, and ooh. So you're just gonna go through and make all those. I'm not gonna do it here because that's gonna take quite a while. And then obviously your blinks, which you can make the same way. You just make the eyelid go down. I'm going to skip ahead to when this model is done, and we're going to be importing it into Unity. Oh, and don't forget to join the body and the head. Alright, so now you've finished up your model, we actually need to currently update this one texture. And because it has gray in the background, we're just going to open up in your photo editor of choice. I prefer Photoshop. And I'm not sure what it is in Paint.net, but I believe it's called replace color. We need to replace the gray with alpha. We just gotta delete the entire gray and replace it with alpha. For Photoshop, I use a tool called Background Eraser. Set it to continuous and 30%. Contiguous and tolerance 30%. And then Alt to put a dropper, and you can see my size is just really big. And just click, and it deletes everything that we needed. And you can see it still has some of the stuff on the right, which is what we want. Some textures might have a bunch of stuff all over it. Just make sure you click in the gray area, like that. And then we're going to save as a PNG. Okay. And we're done with Photoshop. And now we have our PNG. Now we need to actually bring the model into Unity, which I assume everyone here knows how to. Eventually we'll import. Okay, and materials. Better materials, apply. We want to be using our own materials. And we'll create the folder Fairy FDM for the textures. And we're going to click and drag all the textures except for the original decal TGA into there. There we go. Alright, so now we've got all of our textures. Next, we're going to just make a scene quick. Some people don't, but it's the smart thing to do, and if you don't, you're a big dummy. Oh, I've already got the scene. Don't save. Create scene. There we are. Now it's working. Okay. Open scene additive, delete the junk, bring the model in. And in the meantime, as you should have been doing, you had to make all your blend shapes for the VRChat, you know, your blink, a whole shebang. Should have been doing that. Okay. Now we actually need to do the materials, which is the fun part. Cara decal is going to be the easiest one that we're going to do. Select it, put decal, not detail, decal in albedo, and change it from standard to sprites defaults, and then that's it. And we'll actually make it. The color's fine as a gray. It's fine. Sometimes you want to make it a black depending on the color, but we'll just keep it with a nice gray for this one. Now we're going to go to the base. The base is the fun one. So we're going to bring in my shader that we've got. Arc System Works Merge Lights. And this is a Granblue model. We're actually going to uncheck that. You can see it looks like trash right now. We're going to make sure we hit reset. And start dropping the materials in as they need. And you can see it already starts doing a bunch of stuff. And there we are. Okay. So we've got the base model. It looks pretty good right now, and you can keep it right now as it is. It will look pretty close to the game, but there is some fine-tuning stuff you might have to do with these settings here. Primary shadow size is this light here, as you can see. We can bring that in. That's the main shadow of the models. Intensity is how dark it is. Fuzziness, if I get in close, you see it kind of makes it blur a bit. Some people like that blurry look, but I'm not a huge fan of it. Secondary shadow, that is, you see there's this shadow, and then there's this dark shadow on the inside of it. That's this one. You can move this one around to be a bit smaller. It's used in Arc System models about 0.25, for normal gameplay. But you can put it to whatever you want. Everything's customizable to how you want. Specular size. That is the shine bits of the model. Oop. Specular size. You can see it's increasing its size there. And actually we need to move some stuff around because we need to figure out where it is and how bright it should be. This is a very, very finical one. I will warn you there. So it's really good to make the intensity really bright to actually see what you're working with. But the specular size is per character basis, so you're really gonna have to work with it as you want. I'm really sorry about that, but it's kind of just what we have to do. Specular intensity, you can usually keep that at about 1 to 2, depending on what you like. But yeah, there's not really a lot you can do. See, for this model, it's a 0.6 about. Yeah, that's pretty close to what it looks like in game, and we can rotate the sun around to get what that looks like. Looks pretty close. I have a reference image on the side that I'm using to look at. You can see the on this chest piece, it kind of glints in when it's pointing directly at it, and then it glints out like that. That's pretty good. But you can set it to whatever you want it to be. And then go back to materials. Fresnel is the default settings are what your Fresnel is pretty close to in game. You can set it that is be whatever you want as well, though. And yeah, it looks pretty good as it is right now. Let me make sure I'm double checking. So it seems as though I actually have this right here too bright. So actually so you can see the dark on the hair, that is actually controlled by this ILMG secondary scale, this one right here. So actually we can reduce that down. It looks like we can actually reduce that to 0 because it doesn't seem like there's anything on her. Oh, there's actually a little bit. Nope, actually no, I'm just going a little bit crazy. So yeah, there we go. And then we'll reduce the intensity a little bit on primary shadow to make it a little bit brighter, so much more like in game. And there we go. We have Fairy. And then you do your normal stuff, add your component VRChat, the whole shebang. Alright, and now you've made an entire Granblue character start to finish.